Core values of Carl Sagan: the psychology of moral urgency, intellectual courage, and compassionate defiance. Carl Sagan was not driven by curiosity alone. Curiosity is cheap. Many people are curious. Carl Sagan was driven by moral anxiety, the deep, persistent awareness that a technologically powerful but psychologically immature species is dangerous to itself. When I re-enter his life through the corrected natal, external, and Navamsha internal placements, what emerges is not a gentle stargazer, but a man under inner pressure, someone who felt time running out, not metaphorically, but civilizationally. This chart is not about fame. It is about responsibility under foresight. External status versus internal status: Sun, Libra 6th, Moon, Pisces 3rd. External status: Sun in Libra 6th house, natal. Externally, Carl Sagan's identity was forged in service, correction, and ethical labor. Libra gives an acute sensitivity to imbalance and injustice. The 6th house places the ego not on a throne, but at the workbench. His public stature came from showing up repeatedly, correcting falsehoods, addressing misconceptions, and standing between ignorance and consequence. Psychologically, this is the signature of someone who does not feel entitled to admiration. Instead, there is an almost compulsive need to earn legitimacy through usefulness. This is why Sagan often appeared calm but relentless. He was not chasing approval. He was trying to reduce harm. He did not ask, "Will this make me popular?" He asked, "Will this prevent damage?" Internal status: Moon in Pisces, 3rd house, Navamsha. Internally, however, his emotional identity lived in a very different place. Pisces dissolves boundaries. The 3rd house seeks communication and transmission. Inside, Sagan was emotionally sustained by expressing compassion through language. Words were not tools, they were bridges. His need to speak, write, narrate, and explain was not intellectual vanity, it was emotional regulation. This placement reveals a man who processed existential fear by translating it into meaning. Silence was psychologically intolerable, because silence meant misunderstanding would spread. Deep psychological truth. Externally, he worked like a technician of truth. Internally, he soothed himself by speaking hope into chaos. External responsibility versus internal responsibility. Saturn, Capricorn 9th, Jupiter, Aquarius 2nd. External responsibility. Saturn in Capricorn, 9th house, natal. Saturn in Capricorn is duty under gravity. In the 9th house, that gravity applies to belief systems, ideology, morality, and worldview. Externally, Sagan felt a crushing responsibility for what humanity believes, because beliefs justify actions, and actions at a nuclear scale are irreversible. Psychologically, this placement creates a chronic sense of, if I don't speak, something terrible may happen. This is not paranoia. This is foresight-induced burden. It explains why he was tireless, why he often sounded warning-oriented, and why he was willing to be unpopular. He wasn't pessimistic. He was ethically cornered. Internal responsibility. Jupiter in Aquarius, 2nd house, Navamsha. Internally, responsibility softened into humanitarian values and moral speech. Aquarius, Jupiter believes in collective evolution. The 2nd house makes this about voice, principles, and the moral economy of society. Inside, Sagan felt responsible not to command, but to model enlightened values. This is why his tone was inclusive rather than authoritarian. Psychologically, he knew fear creates compliance but destroys wisdom. He wanted internal transformation, not obedience. Life theme: externally he carried the burden of belief, internally he cultivated faith in human intelligence. External action versus internal action. Mars, Leo 4th, Mercury, Capricorn 1st. External action. Mars in Leo, 4th house. Mars in Leo acts from conviction and courage. The 4th house ties action to emotional roots and homeland. Externally, Sagan acted like a guardian of Earth. His activism was not performative, it was visceral. Nuclear winter, planetary defense, climate, these were emotional threats to home. Psychologically, this is protective aggression, not rage, defense. He was willing to confront power because internally, the alternative felt like abandonment of responsibility. Internal action. Mercury in Capricorn, 1st house, Navamsha. Internally, action was governed by severe intellectual discipline. Capricorn Mercury is slow, exacting, and unforgiving of sloppy thought. In the 1st house, this becomes identity. Inside, Sagan was relentless with himself. Every sentence mattered, every claim had to survive scrutiny. This creates an internal tension. Emotional urgency outside, austere self-regulation inside. That tension gave his work credibility. Inner dynamic. He allowed emotion to motivate action, but never to contaminate thinking. External cause versus internal cause. Rahu, Capricorn 9th, Ketu, Cancer 7th. External cause. Rahu in Capricorn 9th house, Natal. Rahu here creates obsession with authority structures and ideological direction. Externally, Sagan was driven by a fear of who controls the narrative. He understood that power follows belief, and belief, once institutionalized, becomes deadly. Psychologically, this is the anxiety of someone who sees too far ahead. He was not afraid of aliens. He was afraid of human certainty without humility. Internal cause. Ketu in Cancer, 7th house, Navamsha. Internally, Ketu indicates detachment from emotional dependency on individuals. In Cancer and the 7th house, this shows karmic completion around personal emotional security. Inside, Sagan did not rely on others to feel whole. This allowed him to prioritize humanity over intimacy. This is why he could withstand criticism, marginalization, and institutional resistance. Karmic axis. Externally, he fought dangerous certainties. Internally, he had already let go of personal emotional needs. External creation versus internal creation. Venus, Libra 6th. Venus, Aries 4th. External creation. Venus in Libra, 6th natal. Externally, Sagan created cultural refinement through service. Venus here expresses love by correcting, balancing, and civilizing discourse. He didn't entertain ignorance, he treated it. His love for humanity showed up as patience, clarity, and fairness. Internal creation. Venus in Aries, 4th house, Navamsha. Internally, value was created through emotional courage and renewal. Aries Venus initiates. The 4th house anchors this emotionally. Despite seeing humanity's worst impulses, Sagan repeatedly chose hope. Psychologically, this is resilience, the refusal to emotionally give up, value signature. Externally, he refined human thinking. Internally, he kept reigniting faith in the human home. Final psychological synthesis. Carl Sagan was not optimistic because he was naive. He was optimistic because he knew despair would guarantee failure. This chart reveals a man who felt personally accountable for humanity's beliefs, experienced knowledge as moral weight, not prestige, acted to protect Earth like a home, not a resource, disciplined his mind to prevent emotional distortion, chose hope as an ethical obligation, not a feeling. Carl Sagan did not merely explain the universe. He tried to slow humanity down long enough to grow up. I shall see you in the next case study of a celebrity. Meanwhile, take care, be safe, and be awesome.